Hey guys, how's it going? After I whacked my knee there doing the last video, I took Sunday and half a Monday off. I had some running around to do, and I got my taxes done. So that's kind of cool. Good way to use up downtime. But the knee's good now, and this is Tuesday evening. I've pretty much been welding and grinding on the rear frame rails and you know, shock mounts and all that stuff that I started in the last video. So I pretty much have a handle on that. This is the 10th video on the truck, so I'm going to do a little recap of everything that we've done so far and show you where we're going next. So you know, I'll grab the camera and we'll do a little walkabout. But you know, when I whacked my knee and I was doing the pain dance there, stumbling around the garage, hopping around and swearing, and I mean swearing, I mean lots of F words and C words, lots of C words. Yeah, but anyway, I thought to myself after, you know, what a dumbass. Why didn't I box the frame rails before I put the axle in? You know, I could have put a chair in there, in the hole there in the middle, and just sat in comfort and welded it and ground and everything, no problem. And then put the axle in after, instead of working around it like a dummy for a day and a half, 2 days. So lesson learned, next time, box the frame rails, then put the axle in. Way simpler. And I wouldn't have got hurt either. So anyway, I'm going to grab the camera and do a quick walkabout and show you what we've done so far. Sorry about the noise. Anyhow, so far, brought the truck in, of course, tore it down, and pulled the six-cylinder engine that was in there, pulled that out, boxed frame rails right up to the back of the cab, fabricated some motor mounts, got the motor in place, transmission cross member, got that in place. And then over to the back here, you know, tilted the cab back over so we could get it at the back. And we boxed in the rear frame rails, both sides, and welded our shock mounts onto the rear axle. So yeah, that's good to go. I still got a little bit of welding to do on this side here, but about an hour and a half, and I'll have that done. So, oh yeah, and the back of the chassis, the last foot and a half or so, I may have to move that cross member to put my fuel tank in. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to wait till I get the fuel tank here before I finish up any of this stuff back here. But anyway, we'll order it, get it in. And then, next step, and we're going to be starting this tomorrow, is get rid of the front suspension that's in there now. And we have to notch the frame, put the cross member in for the Mustang II independent suspension. So yeah, we're going to start on that tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be nice out tomorrow, so I can get the you know, I can get the Model A outside, give myself some room to work, and get after it. So tomorrow should be a good day, should be a big day, and I can't wait to get at it. So in the morning, we'll see you here first thing. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning. I've swept up, cleaned up a bit, put the Model A outside, took the wheels off the front of the truck and leveled off the frame as per the instructions. And that's right, I've got instructions and I'm going to read them. I'm confident enough in my masculinity that you know, I can read instructions and follow them. So there's a couple of critical measurements, and I got to mark some lines and mark it out and stuff. But the first step is to cut this front end off and get it out of here. So yeah, we're going to get right after it. So stick around. Okay, so they wanted to level it this way, which I've done, and figure out what kind of a rake front to back. I've got a very slight rake. In other words, the front is going to be just a tad lower than the back. Now, I do have the rear wheel still sitting on these skates. So you might say, well, geez, your whole thing's going to be out of whack. But actually, those are only little 14-inch tires, and I'm going with a bigger tire anyway. So this, with it on the skates, is more indicative of the actual height that it's going to be at. So I'm leaving them on, and then, you know, I'd already broken off the rivets underneath, or at least ground them off on the inside before I boxed it. So all I've got to do is undo these 2 bolts, drive a punch in there, or a chisel, I should say. Drive a chisel in there, and that should just drop right down. And then we're just going to cut the pins here at the front, and this whole thing should just drop right out of there. Do the same on both sides. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just getting into this, and I've already come across a problem. My little rant about following instructions, reading them and following them, turns out to be bullshit. I won't be following any of them. Now, remembering that I built my motor mounts and my transmission cross member and all that stuff before I even got this kit, it turns out there's a bit of a interference issue. So they give you a couple of lines, couple measurements from the center of this hole here. This is where the spring perches were mounted. So they want the first line to be 12 7/8 from the center of that hole, and the other one, this is the most important one, 18 3/4 from the center of that hole. So I mark my lines level, and I even put a little notch with the grinder at the top of each point, in case that line gets faded or whatever. And the idea is that this piece here, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little punch mark on here. Where is it? Right there. Little punch mark. That lines up with that reference line at 18 3/4. So this is designed to sit on a level, you know, a level piece. So they want you to notch the frame, and right here, from this line, notch it level and cut that out, and they give you the boxing plates to box it in. But when I go to put this on, I line that mark up right here, and you see what happens. I'm hitting the motor mount, just a corner. So I've determined I've got to notch this out, carry this down and across. Now the plate they give you, I've already clamped it to the frame over here where it goes. They wanted me to notch all the way across, past my motor mount, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it here, wherever I have to notch into this. So I'm not following the directions on this. I'm not following the directions at all. I'm just winging it. But the idea is that those top hats, that piece there sits on a level plane. So that's a must. It has to be done because there's a certain angle that that thing has to sit at. I think it's 4 degrees. But anyway, it's not the end of days, but it's a bit of a complication. So, you know, it is what it is, man. They also wanted me to remove the front cross member completely, take it out. And I'm not going to do that either. There's no need to. It's not in the way, not interfering with anything. And, you know, your rad support and stuff like that mounts to it. So I'm just going to leave that. So most of the instructions, other than that one line at 18 3/4, I'm not following anything. But we'll get her done. So I'm going to start cutting, and I'll show you what I end up with. Well, it looks like all that clean living I've been doing is paying off, because I got a little bit lucky here. That's the chunk I cut out of there. And the new boxing plate trimmed to fit. I'll weld it along the outside and all the way down. And then you use this plate here on the top. And this will actually fit under the motor mount. There's plenty of room. So I got really lucky. I don't have to cut the motor mount at all. Now I'm going to keep on hacking away and welding, and when I get more done, because the cross member actually gets welded in first. So I'm going to make sure I get that in place, and I'll come back when I'm on that. All right, so this is tacked in now. So I'm going to move on to the other side and do the same cutting. Tack that in, and then I can weld both sides at the same time, get it all done. Transfer some measurements, and then get that cross member in place. So it takes a while to cut this stuff, so I'll be back after I've got it all plated up and buzzed in. Man, I tell you, there's a boatload of cutting, and well, things are tacked in now, but yeah, it's a lot of work. If you think you're going to slap this thing in a couple of hours, you're dreaming. And I think I still have to trim some of this angled piece down here away, because the cross member comes up from underneath, and it looks like that's going to be in the way. So I'll have to trim that out on both sides and weld it all in. So I'm going to go ahead and weld it, and then I'm going to call it a night. I've been at this a good chunk of the day, and yeah, we'll check back in the morning when I start putting the cross member and the other pieces in. So I got a couple hours of welding ahead of me. Fun, wow. Here we go now. I've welded and ground anywhere I needed to get the cross member in. So just like on those other pieces where there was a little punch mark, there's also a punch mark on the cross member, and I darkened it with the marker. So that lines up with that reference line that we've been using from the very beginning. So I just transferred the reference line from the outside mark and measured off from a point, because if you use a square, it's going to be crooked. These frame rails are towed in, so if you were to go a square, use a little square, the line would be off. So I measured off. Actually, I used this rivet. It's pretty wide measuring tape. I just marked on either side and then joined the two lines, and then used a level to bring it down that way. So I'm going to jack up the cross member into place and tack it in along with the those top pieces, and show you what it looks like when I get back. So won't be long, a few minutes. Well, even though I have a ton of welding still to do, the hard part is done. So the cross member's in place. You can see how where is it? There, the dot and the line up. Same with on the cross member. If you can see that. So everything's in line, everything's lined up, tacked in place, and ready to be finished welded. So I'm quite pleased, but man, I didn't realize how much hacking and grinding and cutting and welding there was going to be to this. But now I know. So, you know, I got to make up a filler piece for in here on both sides. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, just weld it and clean up the welds. So I guess the next step, I don't know, be weld it up, clean it up as much as I can do from the top. Pull the body off, pull the engine and transmission out, rear end and everything else. have it just a frame, flip it over, weld whatever I have to underneath, and you know, paint it. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this, and I'm calling that a hell of a day. Well, well-deserved beer. Yeah, so that's the hard part. All the rest of the suspension components just bolt to that cross member and those pieces. So you know, it's all bolt-on stuff. So I got probably a good chunk of the day tomorrow to, you know, finish welding everything, grinding everything, and like I said, I'm gonna pull the body off, pull the rear axle out, springs and all, motor, transmission, take that out. So I have just a bare frame left. I'll get it on a couple of sawhorses and clean everything up on top, flip it over, weld whatever I have to underneath, clean all that up, and yeah, it'll be ready for epoxy. I'm going to use, some guys use Pour 15. I use a stuff called Dom 16. It's basically the same thing, except it's a third the price. So, and it's good stuff. I used it on my square body frame. It was outside for a whole winter, not a mark on it. So it's good stuff. Anyway, so we'll get it done with that. And yeah, then we can start bolting all the pieces back together, you know, cleaning and painting everything as we go. And we'll have a finished chassis in no time. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. New subscribers, again, thank you very much. Good bunch signed up this week, and you know, let's keep it rolling, man. Keep it going. Pushing for 500. I'm getting close to 440 now. So yeah, spread the word, man. Tell your buddies. Today also, I got a really nice set of 55 Chevy 2-door sedan doors for my 4-door conversion project. So I'll get to that sometime in the near future. And what else? Oh yeah, I've also still been sanding on Model A fenders. You can catch progress on the Model A on Dirty Dan's Ride and Cycle on Facebook. That's where I'm going to post the Model A stuff for now. I'm going to keep rolling on the truck as well. And yeah, it's all good. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit the little bell. You know the routine. And you know, if you don't do anything else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.